And here we are, pretty much all downhill from here. So everything's now 100% mocked up. Went through, made a bunch of fender braces for it. You can see, got all the interior done, getting ready to tear that off. Yeah, insides, these. One thing I learned, always write cover so you know what side to do. That way, in case you screw up, you can only blame yourself. Here, same thing. That little piece is done. Those pieces over there. So, bed sides are coming off. I did mock up this tailgate net. This is a full-size tailgate net. It had a bunch of straps, but it was too long. So as you can see, pretty much just self-tapped it in. And then when everything's said and done, just put one screw right down here, and it'll tighten the whole thing up. Nice, easy access to the gas. Something I did just decide to do is, we're going to cut that out. Something to do tomorrow. So in the meantime, we're pretty much done. We're ready to tear this thing back down and start painting. So, it's all downhill from here. Downhill meaning the easy stuff. So this will be the last time you see it together. At least like this. Hopefully, she'll be colored soon. Stay tuned. And we're back with what I'm calling the spray and pray day. So we're mixing up some paint here. What we're using is PPG makes a nice Defleet Essential. Used it a couple times in the past. Pretty good. 6:1:1 mix ratio. We're going to be using just a little Harbor Freight gun today because all we're doing is, just panels. Now, it's not worth it to paint the whole thing in one clip, and I'm kind of limited to room since I got to throw the Bronco outside, come back in. So in between takes, it's about a 10-minute flash time per coat. I am going to go in and start working on the interior while I'm waiting. And yeah, let's get spraying. Of course, couldn't find my respirator, so all I got is a little paper mask, but I can't see it being too cloudy in here. Well, for the clear's always cloudy. And of course, couldn't find a suit, so going to be getting it all over my arms. Always fun to be sticky. So let's set this thing on the tripod and see where we go. So just to be clear, I already did wax and grease remove it, and I already hit it with a tack cloth. So just grab the gun and start praying. Yeah, slicking it in. This isn't even with clear coat yet. I'm pretty happy. Not a lot of trash. I better stop talking right now. Alright, here we go. Gonna slick it in with the clear. Let's do it. Moving right along, while the paint is drying in the garage, we're going to knock out some of these interior panels. Now, what I like to do, I always like to write cover on the side that's supposed to get covered, because I have covered the wrong side and that kind of sucks. Another thing that I like to do is, wherever you have the screw holes for mounting, I always like to draw a line, because sometimes when you cover it up on this side, you'll end up losing the hole unless you have a line. Because we're going to go through and we're going to poke all holes through, so we know exactly where to mount it. So, since the house doesn't smell bad enough with the paint coming in through the garage, we're going to jump here in the master bedroom and use some spray adhesive, which is what the plastic's for over there. So basically, we're going to do the easy one first. Yep, we're just going to throw some spray adhesive on this, slap it down there, make sure it's all lined up nice and straight with the seams. Let it tack up for 5 minutes and then more or less just bend it over, staple it in. Now these panels aren't that important. Sometimes what I like to do is score a line and get rid of the foam if you want a really, really nice tight edge. But where these panels are, I might do it with just the tops. The bottoms and the sides are not going to matter. And this is going to be tricky where I had to make this relief cut for the gas tank. So I'm actually going to take some of this diamond tuck and take all the padding off and glue it around as best I can and then come over it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's get started. Alright, so here we go with the first panel. So you can see I already put the spray adhesive on here. Now you want to let this tack up for a minute or two, or 3 or 4, depending on your directions. Then we're going to take it over, and we're going to lay it down on her. And hopefully get it right the first time. Now I want to stick right around the same line so everything's symmetrical. So I'm just going to pop it down, line it up. That's way off. That looks good. And just pop it down. Now we're doing this one first because we're going to have extra material here to do this cut. Now, as you can see, it's already tacked up. Now, because I want a nice straight line here, I am going to cut the fabric off of this when I fold it over. You know, it just makes it a little bit cleaner, not as puffy. The sides and the bottom, you're not going to see those, so I'm really not worried about them. So, pause the camera, do some cutting. Alright, so you can see I went through, cut all the foam off the top, and that side, and most of the bottom. I always like to cut all the foam off any corners, and here I'll put a relief cut in for when I go to stretch it and staple it. Same thing here, corner. So I'll just show you real quick how I cut it. I just use a little X-Acto knife. Score it a couple times. Obviously you don't want to go through. And just tear it off. You know, tedious, yes, messy. It's just cotton. And then just keep going. Alright, I'm going to show you how I do the corners. I've done lots and lots of these panels, so this is what works best for me. Now we do have a hole here that we got to stay away from, so we don't want to staple into that. So what I'll do is I'll just take the fabric and I'll bend it like 90 degrees and I'll drop one staple in here. Now I'll cut the fabric. Give myself a relief cut. And I'll bend it over this way. Actually, let me do this one first. You just want to slowly work your way, just doing little relief cuts until you get straight. So that way you can see we're straight. This way, actually, I'm going to cut some out. And then when we're done, we are going to go back and we're going to be cutting all this off anyway here. And you end up with a really nice corner. you can see. Yeah, it gets a little time consuming as you go back and cut all this out. And you want to stay try to stay an inch up. You don't want to be too close to here, because sometimes you can see the staples depending on where it's at. So just stay down. And we're going to keep rolling around. Now this is pretty simple. That one over there, that's going to get a little more complicated. So I'm going to finish off this panel, then we'll start working on that one. Panel's done. You can see corners came out good. Everything looks fine. One thing I like to do at this point is, well, there's two things. One, you're going to have some rogue staples. Every once in a while, a staple might not go all the way in. So take this time to hammer it down. In my case, it was really only one. And then you're going to need a pick. One of these. And that's what these lines are for. Go through and just poke a hole. That way you know exactly where this is going to go. Go all the way around, poke all your holes. Then take the piece and throw it down in your basement until you're ready to install it, because this is done. And that's it. So yeah, it is a little bit messy. And I'm going to show you how we tackle that hard piece. Alright, now we're on to the tricky part. So I've never actually done anything like this where I have a piece that pops out the way this does. So obviously if I cut this right up the center, I'm not going to have anything to bring through, to staple on both sides. It's just impossible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a line in here as best I can. And I'm going to remove all the foam from here and also remove the foam from there, because it's got to be removed anyway. This is going to be a little tricky, but not really that hard. This is going to be the tricky part. So I'm going to cut this foam away, and you can see I've already marked the outside all the way around. Well, I'll just show you. Yeah, it's all marked. So I'm going to cut this, and I'll draw the line a little more, get rid of the foam, and show you how we're going to tackle it. Yep, so after cutting all the foam out, I just realized that I screwed that up. See, when we get back to here, I got cover. So that means that the fabric is supposed to be on this side. So that's got to be like that. So I'm going to have to do some foam work here, I think, because I do not have enough. Well, we'll see how it works out. Let me contemplate this. Alright, now that we have the correct side cut out, basically all I did was spray adhesive some foam right back into here. I think it'll be alright. I'm not going to really know until we turn it over though. So, moving on to the tricky piece. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to layer both sides of this with fabric. Spray adhesive it on. I can staple the back, but the front that says cover, that's going to get sprayed here and here. Then I'm going to flip it over. So let's see if this works out. As you can see, we got our fabric in place, wrapped all the way around, stapled it on the back side. Pretty tight, still a little bit tacky. So now we're going to slather this whole thing with spray adhesive. We're going to pop it on there, wait about 10 minutes for it to cure, and I think we're going to start with this. That's going to be the hardest part. So let's see where we end up. Alright, another late night. Approaching midnight. Gotta work tomorrow. So here's where we're at. We have this one cut here, the complicated one. Now we've already done the inside just to hide any wood in case we don't get it all. So now we're going to be spraying a little dab right on this edge, and then we're going to tape it down. We're going to tape it over and across. You'll see what I mean. We're going to do both sides, let that dry overnight, and come back and check it in the morning. So let's see if we can get this on film. Alright, so here we are. Painting day 2. Still have to take off the windshield and dash. Probably get to that later tonight. Although, you know what? I think I'm going to finish the interior. I got these little corner pieces. Got to pull those off, prime them, paint them. Inside the garage, what did we do today? We did the grill. Inside, that will go black. I actually might order the red Ford letters. I think they look pretty sharp on a white and black Bronco. We got the lower bed sides all slicked in. Ooh, nice, nice. Don't know how well you can see, but came out good. Here's the other one. And we finished the bed sides yesterday. So we're over here. We raptor lined the insides. Well, I guess you would say these are the outsides. And we're getting ready to do the inside. Now really this fender is the only thing that you're going to be able to see because the interior covers all of this. And since we got to mix up a thing of raptor liner, and I already got half of that one done, figure we'll do the inside of the hood. Get this all sprayed in, and then we just got to worry about the top of the hood. Still need some body work on that, but no big deal. Also, bunch of little braces. These all got done. Guess I could probably pull these. So yeah, that's where we're at. And then while this is drying, we're going to go in and work on the interior.